Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, so today we're diving into something absolutely fascinating, a massive tipping point in the financial world. You know the standard drill with everyday banking, right? You've got set procedures, waiting periods, a super rigid framework for how your money moves. But what if I told you there's a precise threshold where that entire rulebook just melts away? We're calling it the alchemy of wealth. This is that exact crazy moment where a bank actually stops managing you like a regular customer and starts treating you like financial royalty. We're going to put you right in the shoes of someone with massive wealth to see how it completely rewrites the reality of how these institutions operate.
And that transformation? Well, it kicks off with a very specific magic number, $25 million. Hitting this exact balance is literally like finding a hidden key to an alternate financial universe. Think about it. Below this threshold, you're pretty much stuck at the mercy of the bank's automated systems. You have to conform to their rules. But the second you cross that $25 million line, the bank fundamentally re-engineers everything about how it interacts with you. It is this precise line in the sand where you go from being just another liability to manage into a highly coveted asset. You aren't just rich anymore. You're in an entirely different category of leverage. The whole infrastructure of the bank literally starts molding itself around you.
You officially unlock what the industry quietly calls Level 8. And it's wild, because at this tier, those massive, rigid global institutions you're used to, they suddenly become incredibly flexible. If there's a roadblock to a massive transaction you want to make, they just move it. Standard restriction on a credit line. Gone. Waived. The policies that govern everyday banking for the rest of us simply do not apply to you anymore. It's kind of mind-blowing to realize that underneath all that strict regulatory red tape, there's actually a highly adaptable secondary architecture built specifically for the ultra-wealthy. At Level 8, the word no basically vanishes from the bank's vocabulary. It's entirely replaced by them scrambling to figure out how.
So, why does all this flexibility exist? It's because the power dynamic has completely flipped. At Level 8, your account is so absolutely critical to the bank's bottom line that it actually dictates the performance reviews of top executives. Seriously, the pressure is totally on them to perform for you, because losing an account of your size would absolutely wreck their internal metrics. The entire banking apparatus starts revolving around keeping you happy. Regional managers, global executives, they all know their bonuses, and honestly, their whole careers at the firm depend on keeping you around. You are no longer serving the bank system. The bank's top management is literally serving you.
To really put that crazy level of service into perspective, let's look at the number 3. Now, this isn't some special fee or a VIP interest rate. It's actually the staggering minimum ratio of dedicated bank staff hired solely to manage your account. 3-to-1. You get this entire personal ecosystem of financial pros whose literal 9-to-5 job is just optimizing your money and making sure your day has zero friction. They're constantly watching your holdings, planning out tax implications before they even happen, and structuring your cash flow. The bank is paying the full-time salaries of at least 3 highly trained experts for no other reason than to make sure you never have to deal with a single second of financial stress.
Okay, so what does this dedicated team actually do all day? Well, for starters, they make sure every single deal you see is fully customized. Generic brochures? Standard investment packages? Yeah, those are a thing of the past. Everything is tailored specifically to your exact risk tolerance and your long-term goals. Plus, the whole concept of applying for things completely disappears. You're no longer filling out tedious paperwork and crossing your fingers for an underwriter to say yes. Instead, these exclusive, highly lucrative investment deals, like private equity rounds or specialized credit vehicles, are brought directly to you. They're fully pre-vetted, totally prepared, and basically just sitting on your desk waiting for a simple nod of approval.
Because of all this incredibly bespoke treatment, a massive shift happens. You organically evolve from just being a customer into a full-fledged partner. And I don't mean partner like some ceremonial VIP title they slap on a gold card. With that much capital backing you, you start actively shaping the bank's actual policies. You suddenly have the leverage to negotiate terms that literally do not exist for the general public. You're effectively using the institution's massive resources as an extension of your own wealth. When you're operating at this level, the bank basically becomes a customized platform for you, working collaboratively in real time to spot market inefficiencies and cash in on them.
To really grasp the sheer scale of this shift, you just have to compare the two realities of how the exact same bank operates. Think about it. On one side, you have the everyday banking experience. It's automated, it's rigid, a regular person makes a tiny $4 overdraft mistake, and bam, they get hit with a massive $35 penalty. It's totally punitive and unforgiving, right? But then on the flip side, the Level 8 side, that exact same institution has its chief investment officer personally calling a client to ask for their opinion on emerging markets. It's wild.
The same bank that will mercilessly penalize someone for a tiny error is sitting across the table treating the ultra-wealthy client like a trusted financial oracle.
And this brings us right to a core concept of today's explainer, the wealth illusion. Because here's the thing, as a human being, your character, your intelligence, your actual intrinsic worth, they stay exactly the same, whether you've got 25 bucks in your account or 25 million. You haven't fundamentally changed as a person at all. But the institution's respect, their flexibility, their whole entire operational model, that is dictated entirely by the digits on a screen next to your name. The illusion is this idea that the banking system is some objective referee of financial behavior, when in reality, its entire personality mutates purely based on the volume of capital you bring through the front doors.
Which leads us to a pretty profound mic drop moment about the duality of our financial world. The system that punishes you at the bottom protects you at the top. The mechanics of banking are just not neutral. All that friction, the automated fees, the incredibly rigid operational rules, they are overwhelmingly designed for the lower tiers of capital. But the second you reach that summit, that very same system transforms into this customized bulletproof shield. The bank actually uses its massive legal and financial weight to protect your assets, mitigate your risks, and completely insulate you from the very same economic friction it's so happy to apply to everyone else.
So it leaves us with one final, pretty thought-provoking question. Are the rules really rules if they only apply to those who can't afford to break them? It's definitely a fascinating dynamic to keep in the back of your mind as you navigate your own finances, especially when you think about the hidden mechanics of wealth operating just out of sight in the broader economy. The true two-faced nature of this system just reveals so much about how capital literally dictates reality. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. We'll see you next time as we keep peeling back the layers on the mechanics of the systems all around us.